Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking on what is hands down the most dreaded planet in astrology. Yeah, we're talking about Saturn. For a lot of people, just hearing the name brings up an immediate sense of dread, right? But we're going to completely flip the script on how you view this celestial giant. By diving into the source material from Jyotisha, or Vedic astrology, we're going to see that Saturn isn't some cosmic punisher out to get you. Actually, it's a profoundly honest teacher of reality. And by the end of this, you'll see how its true mission is really to help you build an absolutely unshakable foundation for your life.
So let's jump right into the big stuff. That universal fear that hits when major Saturn periods roll around. You know the ones. Sadasati, that infamous 7.5-year transit, or the massive 19-year Saturn Mahadasha. People hear they're entering these phases and they literally brace for impact. We tend to associate these huge blocks of time entirely with anxiety, massive delays, financial struggles, and just hardship. It's the elephant in the room. You expect your life to just be put on hold. But viewing these periods as purely negative hardship, it completely misses the point of what's actually going on behind the scenes.
This immense fear we feel happens because of a massive clash between what we want and how Saturn operates. Let's be real. Human nature loves ease. We want success yesterday, we love instant rewards, and honestly, patient effort is just exhausting. We want the shortcuts. But Saturn quietly steps in and challenges all of that. It slows things down, it introduces delays, and actively blocks our favorite shortcuts, demanding actual, true discipline. So yeah, at first glance, it feels totally unfair, which is exactly why we fight it so hard. But here's the absolute game changer that Jyotisha offers. Saturn is not the planet of suffering, it is the planet of reality. It's not sitting up there punishing you just for being human. Instead, it's here to teach us things that simply cannot be learned when we're perfectly comfortable. Think about it. When life is easy, we rarely do the deep work to grow. Saturn provides the friction we literally have to have for genuine personal evolution. It's prepping us for something so much bigger than just a quick, fleeting win.
And honestly, this is exactly why Saturn feels so brutal today. Modern life is completely obsessed with speed. We want the fast-track career, quick wealth, instant recognition online. We want the whole shebang right now. But Saturn is moving in the exact opposite direction. It asks us to respect time, not try to hack it or control it. It's a grounded, heavy reminder that real, meaningful growth, you just can't rush it. When we try to force Saturn onto our modern, instant gratification timeline, we are absolutely guaranteed to be miserable. There's this beautiful quote from the source material that hits the nail on the head. A tree needs years before offering shade. Just like a skyscraper needs a massive, deep foundation before it can go up, Saturn operates on that same natural philosophy of patient development. You can't microwave a mighty oak tree, right? It has to weather storms, dig its roots deep into the dark earth. It takes time. Saturn is essentially the gardener making sure your roots are deep enough to actually sustain whatever heights you reach later in life. Now, what's really fascinating is how Saturn's core attributes actually build on each other. In Vedic astrology, Saturn rules karma, time, discipline, endurance, patience, and humility. Unlike the faster planets that might just drop some sudden luck in your lap, Saturn plays the long game. Its lessons unfold over years, not days. And here's the best part. What Saturn gives might arrive late, but it stays. It's incredibly stable because you've earned it through undeniable, consistent effort. We're talking lasting foundations here, not just temporary victories. Let's take a second to redefine a concept that causes so much unnecessary anxiety. You'll hear astrologers call Saturn the Lord of Karma, and people panic, thinking every bad day is punishment for something they did wrong. But that is not it at all. Saturn as the Lord of Karma simply means it enforces the natural law of cause and effect, period. Every action has a consequence. Every responsibility you ignore will eventually demand your attention. But also, every ounce of effort you put in eventually pays off. Saturn just reflects this law with zero bias, reminding us that what we do actually matters. Because it's so focused on cause and effect, Saturn really hones in on responsibility. And to teach us this, it puts us through what you could call the ultimate interrogation. It doesn't care about your excuses or what you promised to do tomorrow. Instead, it puts you in situations where you have zero choice but to take a hard look in the mirror. It asks the really difficult questions about how you are actually living your life.
The first question it asks is simple, but man, does it sting. Are we honoring our commitments? Saturn will look right at you and challenge whether you're actually standing by the obligations you've made to your family, your job, your community, and even to yourself. If you've been flaking out or making empty promises, a Saturn period is going to bring every single one of those broken commitments right up to the surface so you finally deal with them. Then,
It moves on to expose your shortcuts. It asks, are we avoiding necessary work? If you've just been skating by, relying on charm, dodging the gritty, unglamorous effort, Saturn is going to pull the rug right out from under you. It ruthlessly removes those safety nets because it wants you to see that relying on shortcuts is ultimately sabotaging your own potential. And ultimately, it questions the actual substance of what you're doing. It asks, are you building something lasting, or are you just chasing temporary satisfaction? Saturn rewards persistence over mere promises. It's basically telling you to stop wasting your energy on stuff that won't even matter in 5 or 10 years. It's amazing, actually, because under this kind of pressure, people often discover strengths they had no idea they possessed. Hardship demands a kind of strength that comfort just never requires. Psychologically speaking, this whole process is incredibly intense. Saturn is going to reveal your most hidden fears and insecurities. Naturally, we all try to avoid situations where we might fail, get rejected, or feel inadequate. But Saturn, it gently, or sometimes not so gently, puts us right in the middle of those exact circumstances. Yes, it's super uncomfortable. But the Jyotisha tradition tells us this is the exact starting point of genuine confidence. Confidence built on surviving the hard stuff lasts way longer than confidence built on easy wins. Through all this intensity, Saturn teaches profound humility by drawing a massive line in the sand between temporary appearances and lasting substance. Status, money, beauty, popularity, all of that can vanish in a heartbeat. But what actually sticks around? Character, integrity, wisdom, compassion, endurance. Saturn forces us to stop looking at the shiny surface and focus on what things actually are. It values quiet, rock-solid consistency way over loud, flashy recognition. Now, during these major transits, life can feel agonizingly slow. Your plans take longer, responsibilities pile up to the ceiling, and relationships get pushed to their absolute limits. Financial discipline isn't just a good idea, it's mandatory. Yet almost without fail, these periods become massive turning points. People are forced to simplify, they build incredible resilience, and tap into this deep inner strength they didn't know was there. Looking back years later, it's wild how many people will point to these exact, grueling Saturn periods as the most truly transformative years of their entire lives. On a spiritual level, Saturn hands us an incredible gift: clarity. It slowly strips away the false expectations, the unhealthy attachments, and the totally unrealistic ambitions. It basically asks us to accept reality exactly as it is, without being bitter about it. And here is the secret. That acceptance, it isn't defeat. It's pure clarity. When all the illusions finally drop away, we can actually start making wise decisions. True freedom isn't escaping reality, it's understanding it and working with it. You know, perhaps the most empowering takeaway from this entire explainer is this right here. Saturn sets up the classroom, but it never ever takes away your free will. You can resist its lessons or you can accept them. The circumstances it brings might be heavy, but your response is what dictates the final outcome. Some folks let the difficulty make them bitter and angry, while others use it to become profoundly wise. Saturn just brings the friction. Whether you grow from it, that is 100% up to you. Saturn is, without a doubt, the most honest teacher we have. It cuts through the illusions and honors pure effort over empty appearances. So, as you look at your own life, your own seasons of waiting, delay, and heavy lifting, I want to leave you with this final thought. When Saturn inevitably slows your life down, will you fight the reality it presents and turn the lesson into suffering? Or will you embrace the process and let this patient, honest teacher build you a foundation of wisdom that will hold you up for the rest of your life? The choice is yours.